Congressman Nadler, Democrat out of New York, said the most atrocious thing, like nauseating thing, about the existential threats to ICE agents right now, federal law enforcement officers, that he just dismissed. Jerry Nadler is the ranking member on the Judiciary Committee for the Democrats, and that means he's got oversight for law enforcement at the federal level and ICE agents and various actions that those agents might take. It also means he's responsible for their safety. And when he was asked about the recent attacks on ICE agents, his answer should enrage you. It certainly enraged me. We're going to show you that in a second. But first, the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, was on Face the Nation. And she was asked about the turmoil in her city and the ICE agents who were trying to enforce the law, something that Karen Bass doesn't seem too interested in.
Tom Homan has said physical description cannot be the sole factor for reasonable suspicion, but things like location, occupation, physical appearance add up, particularly if a person runs away or if there's a tattoo or something. You don't seem to believe that.
Location, sitting at a bus stop, walking down the street, selling fruit. No, I do dispute that. Absolutely. And, again, the National Guard should have never been deployed in the first place. We did not ask for them. This is the federal seizure of power from a governor deploying the National Guard when the National Guard were not even needed.
All right, a couple of things here. She's taking issue with the fact that if you can identify potential criminal behavior because somebody is in a certain location or not, that's outrageous and unconstitutional. Let me just be clear here. We'll get to the Home Depot locations in a second. But when she says, what, sitting at a bus stop? Well, see, in Los Angeles, people live in the bus stops. The bus comes by and they're still there. They're breaking the law against criminal vagrancy, number one. Selling fruit, just so you know, as someone who lived in Southern California, if somebody is on the sidewalk selling mangoes or selling pineapples or selling fruit, number one, they're breaking the law because they're not allowed to sell fruit unless they have a license and a permit. And most of them don't. They're just people who are out there that they bought fruit. And by the way, they're not meeting the health code concerns that the city of Los Angeles and the state of California have put there when you're selling produce. And number three, most people in Southern California know that a lot of those fruit vendors who are just selling fruit are selling something else. A little under the table there. You want something extra with your mango? Here you go. That said, let's get to the Home Depot real fast because they painted this picture that, hey, these are just people who are looking to help you out in your garden and help you out with some construction jobs or odd work that you need done around the house, which, by the way, is another indication that broken homes and broken families are a detriment to our culture and our society, because that's what dads are supposed to be doing. But sadly, I think there are too many women who are raising children without a father in the home, so they end up picking up some guy at Home Depot to come back and do odd jobs and menial labor around the house. Well, here's the problem. Number one, you shouldn't do that because it's against the law. Number two, you shouldn't do that because a lot of those guys are criminals. And when they get a job in your house to, like, unplug the toilet or fix a leaky faucet or whatever you have them do, they're actually casing the joint. They're figuring out how to break in and commit crimes later. And, oh, by the way, a lot of these people are criminals. Bill Malugin, Fox News, who covers border and immigration issues better than anyone. He's got great sources. And Border Patrol has given him some information on the latest Home Depot raid up in Sacramento. But let me be clear, because we keep calling these Home Depot raids. They're parking lots. They're not raiding the Home Depot. These are people who are loitering, criminal loitering, by the way, that should also be taken up by local law enforcement when people are loitering for no reason. There's a reason why we have loitering laws in cities. These people are loitering in the parking lot or on the sidewalk outside the Home Depot, hoping to get picked up for jobs and God knows what else. According to the Border Patrol, it reveals that 11 illegal aliens that they arrested in a raid at a Sacramento Home Depot on Thursday, 5 had a criminal history, of which 3 are convicted felons, including a fentanyl trafficker and a sex offender who fled from agents and broke into a nearby inhabited apartment and assaulted the occupant during the raid. The arrests include Mexican national Javier Dimas Alcantar, an aggravated felon who Border Patrol says has been booked into California jails 67 times since 1986. His rap sheet includes fentanyl trafficking. That's this guy. 67 times he's been booked in California prisons. All right, more on this story. Stand by. Also arrested was Mexican national Carlos Mata, another convicted felon. Border Patrol says he fled and broke into a nearby apartment, then assaulted the person inside an effort to avoid arrest, leading to a local 911 call for a reported break-in. That's this guy. Salt of the earth. They're just trying to scrape by and have a nice, comfortable living here, working hard, doing the jobs that you don't want to do, man. Who do you think's going to pick your vegetables and cut your grass? Well, be careful who you're hiring to cut your grass. Furthermore, his rap sheet, that guy that we just saw, convictions for sex with a minor, battery on a spouse, carrying a concealed dagger, possession of a controlled substance, possession of narcotics, receiving stolen property, and first-degree burglary. Other arrests include previously deported Guatemalan aggravated felon, previously deported Mexican with prior arrest for driving without a license, Guatemalan with a voluntary return removal in 2009 with prior arrest for trespassing and failure to provide ID. These are all random men standing in the parking lot of a single Home Depot in the capital of the sanctuary state of California. We were riding along with agents during the raid, and the men took off running in all directions as soon as they saw Border Patrol. Here's some photographs from Bill Malusian when they arrested these people. The mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, would have you say that because these people are hanging out in a parking lot of Home Depot, that is not cause to go and stop and ask for identification and question them. They're trying to say that the real criminals here are the federal law enforcement officers who are doing basic, smart, wise police work. Police know who's hanging out where and what kind of bad stuff they're getting involved in if they're there. But here's the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, second-guessing federal law enforcement officials and saying she knows better. But that's not the least of the problems. Released last night a video out of New York. Let me turn the sound down here. It's just ambient noise, really. And let me describe what you're seeing here. This is video of an off-duty Border Patrol agent getting shot at by an illegal alien. You can see two assailants. One of them is an illegal alien with criminal charges. They're ambushing and shooting this Border Patrol officer yesterday in New York City. This is real. These are serious dangers. This is just the latest ambush. We already told you last week about 2 different incidents with Border Patrol agents in Texas. One of the schemes had a Antifa member shooting off fireworks to draw the attention of the ICE officer to come and investigate what the fireworks were. And when they came out to investigate, that's when they attacked him. This is happening on a regular basis now, and mostly because of the heated rhetoric from Democrats who are likening our federal law enforcement officers, badge wearers, to masked Gestapo secret police agents who are wreaking havoc on innocent people. Jerry Nadler, who I erroneously said was the ranking member in Judiciary, he used to be. Now Raskin is the ranking member, but Jerry Nadler, who has been in that position in the past, he's been the chairman of Judiciary in the past when the Democrats had the majority. He was asked about these attacks on federal law enforcement officers.
Do you condemn the attacks on ICE agents?
What attacks on ICE agents?
I've never been more disgusted in my entire life. And that tells you something when it comes to an elected official. Let me be clear. I've been disgusted by other people in my life, but not that may be the most disgusting thing I've ever heard from an elected official, with the blasé, uncaring wave of his hand. What attacks on law enforcement? Did you hear this?
Do you condemn the attacks on ICE agents?
What attacks on ICE agents?
So I'm disgusted because he is either stupid and he gets paid a really good salary to have a whole lot of power as a congressman, especially one who is part of the oversight for law enforcement at the federal level. So he's either stupid and uninformed, or he knows full well the attacks on ICE agents and Border Patrol, and he doesn't give a damn. Either way, what a despicable waste of oxygen Jerry Nadler is.
Do you condemn the attacks on ICE agents?
What attacks on ICE agents?
Absolutely despicable. You expect more from an elected official, even a Democrat, even someone like Jerry Nadler. You don't expect much from the Antifa activists who are paid very well by a whole lot of nonprofits out there, NGOs, Soros funded most of them, who are out there agitating and harassing ICE agents on a regular basis, like this one with the lovely nose ring.
What would you say to people who say, look, they're not here legally, they have to leave, they should have waited in line?
Well, to those people, I don't care to conversate to those people. Our community is devoting our time to the people who are rallying up with us.
So she doesn't want to hear from or talk to anyone who disagrees with her. This is typical. Thank you, public education system in America, and most specifically, I'm guessing, state of California. And also, speaking of education, did she say conversating?
What would you say to people who say, look, they're not here legally, they have to leave, they should have waited in line?
Well, to those people, I don't care to conversate to those people.
I don't care to conversate to those people. I guarantee you she has a bachelor's degree from a liberal arts college in California, quite possibly an advanced degree. These are the people who are harassing our federal law enforcement officers who are trying to enforce our law and keep our cities and states safe. Californians don't seem to care about it. The rest of us do. Let's let Tom Homan have the final word here with regard to the ambush in New York.
I'll say it again, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And I'm going to work very hard with Secretary Noem to keep President Trump's promise and his commitment several weeks ago that sanctuary cities are now our priority. We're going to flood the zone. You don't want to let us into jail to arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a jail. You want to release him into the street, which makes it unsafe for the community, makes it unsafe for the officer, makes it unsafe for the alien. Because anything can happen on a street arrest. So what we're going to do, we're going to have more agents in New York City to look for that bad guy. So sanctuary cities get exactly what they don't want, more agents in the community and more agents in the work site. If we can't arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of the county jail, then we'll arrest him in the community and we'll arrest him in the jail. And when we arrest him in the community, if he's with others that are in the country illegally, they're coming too.
There you go. And so there's Tom Homan after this latest attack saying, to hell with it. We are now making sanctuary cities the priority. You're not going to intimidate us. You're not going to keep us out. You think all of this behavior is going to make us back down and say, okay, fine, Los Angeles, fine, San Francisco, fine, state of California, fine, New York, Chicago. You can have your sanctuary status. We'll just worry about the rest of the country. Oh, hell no. Tom Homan says now we're going to make it a point. In fact, we're going to actually prioritize and put our resources in those sanctuary cities specifically to clean them up once and for all. Bring it. We'll continue to cover all of that story because we are passionate about it here. And God bless our law enforcement officers who are literally under fire every day. Say a prayer for them and their families.